Yo, what's up guys? Let's get into this video. So I'm sure you all know how it felt to be one of the last few people alive when you first started playing Fortnite or battle royales in general. There's not much to explain. You want to win and you're straight up nervous, bit sweaty, hands clammy, heart racing. You get the idea. So in my how to stay calm video, I went over tilting and mentality when it comes to playing competitively, like in tournaments and cash cups, which is more like tips to help throughout the length of a tournament or like a competition, not necessarily in any specific point in time within the games. I'll link it below, but in this video I'm going to talk about staying calm specifically in the endgame during the final circles. I'm going to briefly go over staying calm in endgame pubs and then go more in depth on competitive. I want to say first off that getting nervous is completely normal and nobody's immune to it. It's not that big a deal, it's just something else to work on, and I understand it can be scary sometimes, especially considering a lot of Fortnite players are generally younger and are struggling to improve. But if you really want to improve, this is where you prove yourself that you can handle it. That being said, even by working on it, you'll never truly control yourself in every situation because you have to also expect different levels of nervousness based on the conditions you're playing on. Conditions meaning like, is it just a pub? Is it arena? Cash cups? The World Cup? You know, like what's on the line? For all of these, the more you experience each condition, the more comfortable you'll be performing with them. Makes sense, right? For example, that's the reason majority of people don't get nervous in pubs, obviously because it's always accessible. As far as the least amount of effort to get into games, it is what it is. Anyways, so as I mentioned, all these different conditions or levels of play, the same principle I mentioned in the how to stay calm video applies here. So you step outside your comfort zone, and the more you do so, you're expanding your comfort zone and you're developing. So let me start with endgame in pubs. Again, I'm going to keep it brief because there isn't much to say. Honestly, the way I see it right now, pubs are a joke and shouldn't be taken seriously at all, even though they're skill-based matchmaking. If you want to be comfortable under endgame circumstances, pubs aren't going to teach you or expose you to anything useful. Unless you want to be the best heal offer the world has ever seen, then by all means, go for it. Good luck. I respect you. Pubs are your most basic of endgames, so just use pubs to work on your strategy and fundamentals until you've gotten comfortable under the basic battle royale pressure. Now, let's get into more complex endgames with moving circles, 50 players, and oceans of sweat. In order to stay calm in the chaos, you have to get an understanding of what to do during endgames. Keep in mind, as each circle gets smaller, so do your windows of opportunity to think clearly. There's a lot that runs through your head when you're in these endgame situations. Where do I post up? Do I take this fight? Do I have enough mats? Can I make this rotation? How do I make this rotation? I've only mentioned a few, but you have to make so many split-second decisions on the spot that I didn't even realize until I started writing this part of the script. Okay, so how do I overcome the stress and anxiety and stay calm with a mountain of questions? I think the key is to take things one step at a time. Pause, breathe, do what you gotta do to get a grip, and when you're in the game, try to get an understanding of yourself and your surroundings. In most cases, your biggest concern are the people around you. Don't worry about what's going on the other side of the map. Ask yourself, where's circle? How many people are near you? If you're not in circle, then how will you get in? And the more you play, the quicker you'll answer these questions, and the sooner it'll become second nature. Usually, when I play, I sit under my cone, I'm peeking, and I take a look at who's around me, where I plan to move if I don't have circle, and I kind of mentally map out my path I'm going to take before I start my rotation. That's my advice when you have time to think clearly. When it's the smaller circles and you don't have time to think clearly, most people just do the first thing that comes to mind and just go off instinct. A lot of people freak out, mess up, and this is where most people die. In order to stay calm in the smaller circles and building your understanding within those smaller circles, I only have two suggestions. My first one is VOD reviewing. When it's the smaller moving circles, there's all sorts of craziness. You might have no idea what's going on around you in the moment. So while you're VOD reviewing, look at the players around you, the paths you could have took instead, and the mistakes you might have made. Sometimes I have moments where I feel like the whole lobby's staring at me, waiting for me to leave my box, just so they can laser me. Then I watch my VODs, and I realize they're not even looking at me. Nobody cares. So watch your VOD reviews and get an understanding of what you can do in the future if you're ever in similar situations. Second, watch pro scrimmers and see how they work around their in-game obstacles. And, you know, like actually watch and ask questions to yourself as to why they're doing everything they're doing and how they're doing it. Same thing as VOD reviewing. You'll remember little things they did and you'll be able to apply them in the future during your gameplay. Both VOD reviewing and watching pro scrimmers will help you plan for the future as you get into more of these endgame scenarios. I think knowing what to do next and planning your next move is a big part of staying calm. So I'm sure you guys know this, but majority of players that play on a competitive level practice by playing scrims. It's the best way to make sure you're alive for the endgame because most of the time they have zone rules where there's no killing until the first, second, or third circles. That way you're guaranteed that endgame experience. So just do what you gotta do, and if you die, learn from it and go at it again. Doesn't matter if you die, just hop into another scrim and keep playing. And keep applying what you've learned. As you build that experience, everything will become instinct, and just like pubs, you won't be nervous to play in these scrims, and you'll be able to stay calm. And on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm sorry I don't have any tips for the World Cup and how to stay calm there. It's kind of self-explanatory. I got no glue. But I hope you guys were able to take something away from this video. If you have any suggestions on what you want to see in the future, feel free to let me know. This video was somewhat based on a suggestion from my last video, and it helped give me a sense of direction, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Yo, so I'm kind of considering doing these little brain dumps at the end of my videos, where I kind of let you guys know where I'm at on my mind, and I'm not actually reading from a script. That way, because I want to kind of flesh out my personality and let you guys know who's behind the videos, if that makes sense. That does make sense. So yeah, I guess for this week, I've been able to stay consistent, and I guess what's on my mind. So this is being uploaded on Friday, and today at 10:30, it's going to be the Lakers versus the Blazers, and I'm looking forward to seeing that game. I've never cried over a celebrity's passing away, but Kobe Bryant was the first. He was a big part of my love for basketball, where it all started, and I could go all day, but I'm going to. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.